Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 8 p.m. on LA56.
A new credit card system hack to worry about. This is the second data breach for Albertsons in just the past few months.
Do your job and enforce your own policy. That's the message from attorney Gloria Allred to the NFL. The new allegations the league is facing.
The man who jumped the White House fence actually made it further inside the White House than we were previously told. Good evening. I'm Colleen Sullivan.
And I'm David Ono. Welcome to Eyewitness News at LA56. And Albertsons says computer malware may have captured customers' names and account numbers at stores in more than a dozen states, including California. Eyewitness News reporter Amy Powell is live in Burbank with the latest on the investigation into this data breach. Amy.
And David, what's really disturbing is this is the second data breach in recent weeks, potentially affecting Albertsons customers. Now the company is scrambling to increase security. Albertsons says it has not yet determined if any of its customers' credit and debit card information was stolen. Store officials say the newly discovered data breach occurred in late August or earlier this month. Malware installed by criminals may have captured account numbers, card expiration dates, and the names of cardholders in Southern California and more than a dozen other states.
It just shows us again how vigilant we have to be. We have to go online and kind of always monitor our accounts.
My feeling on this is just the beginning, because now we have 2 of these breaches in, 10 days? I think it's just a sign of the times, and the fact is, there's criminals out there everywhere. SuperValue, which provides technology services for Albertsons, says a separate security breach discovered in August is also under investigation. This is the latest hacking incident affecting a major store chain. Millions of Target and Home Depot customers were affected by data breaches over the last year.
I feel real safe using cash.
Albertsons issued a statement saying measures have been taken to prevent further use of this new and different malware in the affected store locations. We are also implementing additional measures to enhance the protection of customer payment card data. And Albertsons says it may be able to issue more information about the specific locations impacted by this breach as the investigation continues. Reporting live in Burbank, Amy Powell, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Amy, thank you. Several students are being questioned in an alleged threat to shoot up Temescal Canyon High School in Lake Elsinore. The threat surfaced on social media over the weekend. Many parents kept their kids home or pulled them out of class today, claiming they were not notified by the school district. Madison Berger called her mom to come pick her up after attending first period.
I felt kind of scared, and teachers started locking their doors and making sure it's their students and not other kids trying to get in.
Our message was school is open and we expect to have a normal day. Please send your child to school. But that information is being balanced by internet and other rumors.
By midday, calls and emails had gone out to parents. School will be open tomorrow. The Lake Elsinore Unified School District says it had stepped up security on campus while police investigate.
A Torrance woman has been indicted with 3 counts of capital murder and the stabbing deaths of her 3 daughters. Carol Coronado pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Prosecutors say she fatally stabbed her daughters, ages 3, 2, and 2 months in May. The girl's father says he believes his wife is suffering from postpartum depression. Coronado is due back in court October 17th for a pre-trial hearing.
Firefighters say they're making progress against a brush fire burning in Ventura. It started this afternoon near Foothill Road. So far, it has burned nearly 50 acres and is 35% contained. Ventura Missionary School was evacuated, but only firefighters so they could stage their equipment there. No structures have been burned and no one has been injured. Firefighters say they will remain on the scene overnight to make sure the fire doesn't flare up.
Well, beware. It was a great weekend and today was wonderful, but increasing fire danger as the week goes on. Here's Jonathan Novak.
Yeah, David, Colleen, it was beautiful, like you said, beautiful weekend, beautiful day today, but things are changing rapidly as we head into the next few days. Right now, it's beautiful weather in Burbank, 75 degrees, humidity at 41%, and we head into downtown Los Angeles, 70 degrees. Temperatures today were below average, and this evening they're running below what you typically would expect, 74 Ontario, 72 Hemet, only 86 in Palm Springs, and a cool Big Bear at 51 degrees. So over the next couple of days, that area low pressure that kept us cool over the weekend is heading out, and high pressure is replacing it. That means a warm-up is in store. I will tell you how hot it's going to get this heat wave coming up in a few minutes in that full 7-day forecast. It also means fire danger is in there as well.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. See you then. A New York City fire captain has been accused of sexually assaulting 2 children here in Los Angeles. Here we see Wilbert Riera being transferred by police along with a group of other prisoners. Riera is one with the gray sweatshirt. He appeared in a Staten Island courtroom today. LA authorities want to bring him here for trial. During his New York court appearance, Riera waived extradition. His case was adjourned until October 9th. He is charged with 6 felony counts of lewd acts on a child.
Attorney Gloria Allred is outraged with the NFL. She says she is representing a woman who reported she was raped by an NFL player and that she has yet to see the league do anything about it. Eyewitness News reporter Alex Michelson was at today's news conference and brings us the very latest.
Attorney Gloria Allred says her client was raped by an NFL player and reported it to the police. But she says NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell allowed that player to play football on Sunday.
I am outraged that a woman can go to the police and make a report, and the player and the representative of the team goes to the police, and the NFL commissioner says he doesn't know about it?
Allred is refusing to name the player publicly.
That's an appropriate question for the NFL. Well, I do think they should be transparent about what they knew and when they knew it and what they're doing.
Talking a lot about transparency, what about the transparency of naming this person or naming where this happened, or a law enforcement agency we can contact for more information about an investigation?
Well, I mean, you could contact the NFL. Apparently, they must know.
Allred says the league is not following its own personal conduct policy.
Our client claims that she was raped. Other than belatedly asking for the opportunity to interview our client, there is no indication that they're taking this seriously.
Do you think that a player should be pulled off the field even though criminal charges or arrest has not happened?
I think that the NFL should enforce its own NFL policy.
Allred says she's not currently planning on suing the NFL.
We'd like these allegations to be taken seriously. We'd like them to do their job. I mean, I would say to Commissioner Goodell, get your house in order.
Alex Michelson, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Tonight, the NFL is responding to Gloria Allred, the league's general counsel, saying it takes seriously any suggestion that anyone associated with an NFL may have engaged in criminal conduct.
Governor Jerry Brown has just vetoed a bill that would have placed strict limits on the use of drones by law enforcement. AB 1327 would have required law enforcement agencies to get warrants before conducting surveillance with drones, publicly announced their intent to buy and use drones, and destroy most of the data collected within a year. Brown says the bill did not give law enforcement enough leeway and could impose requirements that go beyond the state or federal constitution.
Tonight, new details about the man accused of setting fire to an air traffic control center in Illinois. He made his first court appearance today and is charged with destruction of aircraft facilities. Authorities say 36-year-old Brian Howard entered the building in Aurora Friday with a suitcase. They say he started destroying the electronic gear in the basement of the building. That included radar communications and flight plan computers. They say he then tried to commit suicide.
Brian tried to take his life. That he did so in a way that inconvenienced and many people is unacceptable, and he deeply regrets that.
2,000 flights were canceled at O'Hare and Midway airports, disrupting travel nationwide. The travel disruptions could last at least 2 more weeks.
Tonight, startling new revelations about that White House intruder. Officials say at the time only got through the front door, but now we are learning he got further than we knew, just minutes after the president and his family left the White House. ABC's Pierre Thomas has the details.
The suspect seen in this video running toward the White House got much deeper inside than the Secret Service first disclosed. Sources tell ABC News when Omar Gonzalez burst through the unlocked front door of the White House, he overpowered the first Secret Service officer. Gonzalez, who was carrying a 3.5-inch knife, then raced past a flight of stairs that leads to the first family's living quarters. Sources say he then entered the East Room, a formal setting that has been the scene of history, receptions, and presidential addresses. He was finally tackled by a counter-assault officer at the far end of the East Room, some 80 feet inside.
He got deep enough that had the president, the vice president, or any of other number of individuals been walking the hallways, they could have been attacked by Mr. Gonzalez.
Tomorrow, the Secret Service director is expected to appear before Chairman Issa's committee. She will face harsh questions about how a breach so egregious could have happened.
The basics of the White House, locking the doors, having compartmental security, appears to have failed. and it failed because of the human element headed by the Secret Service.
And now questions about why the Secret Service did not fully disclose all those details about how bad the breach truly was.
The Secret Service's story keeps changing. First, they told us the man was not armed. He had a knife. And the service initially left the impression that the suspect was arrested right after he got inside the White House. That clearly was not the case. Pierre Thomas, ABC News, Washington.
U.S. military leaders say they're seeing progress as the U.S. and its allies continue airstrikes against ISIS, but they warn this could be a very long campaign. Today, the U.S. launched airstrikes in northern and eastern Syria. Activists say one hit a grain silo, reportedly killing 2 civilians. Meanwhile, President Obama acknowledged that the U.S. intelligence agencies underestimated what ISIS had been doing in Syria and overestimated the abilities of the Iraqi army.
The White House is urging authorities in Hong Kong to show restraint with pro-democracy protesters. This as thousands blocked main roads for the second night in a row. Today's protests were mostly peaceful. In a shift of tactics, police manned barricades preventing access to some buildings, but otherwise not intervening. This comes after clashes last night when Hong Kong police used pepper spray, batons, and tear gas to try to contain the protesters. The rallies are in response to China's decision to reject open nominations for candidates for Hong Kong's leader.
Up next, new legal trouble for Amanda Bynes. Why the troubled actress was arrested in Sherman Oaks.
Also, race driver Tony Stewart speaking out today for the first time since killing another driver on the track.
Plus, why Walmart says Tracy Morgan was to blame for a crash that badly injured the actor.
And on California's college campuses, when does yes really mean yes?
NASCAR driver Tony Stewart spoke out today for the first time since a grand jury chose not to indict him for the death of sprint car racer Kevin Ward Jr. Stewart says he doesn't know if his life will ever be normal again.
I think about it every day, and I wish I could say it was once a day, but it's not. I think about it a lot every day.
In a letter, Ward's aunt criticizes the system for making an issue of the toxicology report, which found marijuana in his system at the time of the incident, and questions the investigation. The Ward family has indicated it might pursue a civil case and maintains Stewart is to blame for the accident.
Actress Amanda Bynes is in trouble with the law again. A CHP officer arrested the 28-year-old early yesterday morning on suspicion of driving under the influence of drugs. The CHP says a former child star was detained in Sherman Oaks after she stopped in the middle of an intersection. She was later released after posting $15,000 bail. Bynes has previous driving-related arrests in her record and went through psychiatric treatment last year after authorities say she set a small fire outside a Thousand Oaks home. And Walmart is placing blame on actor-comedian Tracy Morgan and others for injuries suffered when their limo bus was struck by one of the company's trucks. Walmart says they weren't wearing seatbelts. Morgan's friend James McNair was killed in the crash. Morgan spent several weeks healing from rib and leg injuries. Investigators say truck driver Kevin Roper had not slept for more than 24 hours before the crash back in June in New Jersey. Roper has pleaded not guilty to the charges against him.
Well, now it looks like we're in for another heat spell.
Another heat wave, and on top of it, unfortunately, while we won't have the humidity to make it feel really bad, that lack of humidity will feed into fire danger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about come, I'd say, Wednesday, Thursday, especially. So, a heat wave in store, fire danger in store. It's been really nice the last few days. Today was fantastic. You know why? Area low pressure that brought us an onshore flow that is now off to the east of us, bringing some storms, even some flooding to portions of Colorado right now. Check that out. A lot of lightning on that live Mega Doppler 7000 HD. Stormy night for Colorado this evening. Highs today, 78 was our high in downtown Los Angeles. 81 is our normal, but as we go through the next couple of days, we'll start warming those temperatures up, and then they're going to spike come Wednesday into the 90s in downtown. So we've got a warm-up in store, folks. Enjoy it while it is here. The nice mild weather, that is. Malibu, 70 degrees right now. Long Beach, same for you. Light winds, 7 miles an hour. That will be another change in the forecast. The winds are going to kick up, too. And when you have the windy conditions, the dry conditions, and the hot conditions, that spells fire danger. 74 in Ontario, 50 Big Bear, good evening to you, and 73 Temecula, 69 San Clemente, beautiful evening for you, and in Ojai, 68, good evening to you in Ojai. So here's that area low pressure I just showed you. That's lifting up and away, and that's going to make room for high pressure to build in over the next couple of days. And right now it's off to the west of us, that center of high pressure, but I'd say by about Wednesday it's going to be right near us, and it's going to be giving us an offshore flow as opposed to the onshore flow that we just had. I'll show you this right here in that future scan. The offshore flow, those Santa Anas, that's what's really going to warm us up and kick the winds up, and that's going to give us that fire danger. So Tuesday, 3 p.m., you see that high still centered off to the west, but by Wednesday into Thursday starts making more progress to the east, and by Thursday, that's where we're going to start really seeing that warm up. So check that out. High pressure building in right over California, and that's going to mean temperatures in the triple digits for the valley areas and in the 90s for downtown LA. So overnight tonight, 60s, beautiful evening ahead, still looking very nice tonight. 63 Los Angeles, 62 Ontario, 57 Simi Valley, and then highs tomorrow. Not hot yet, but temperatures around 80 degrees in that 7-day forecast for LA Metro and Orange County. You know, that's still below average for about another day or two before things really spike on Thursday. Temperatures back into the 90s on Thursday, 92 Friday, Saturday, mid to upper 90s in LA. This is downtown Los Angeles, down to 90 on Sunday, mid 80s next Monday. But we've got a good chunk here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of temperatures 97 on Thursday, valleys, i.e. up to 106 on Saturday for you, with winds blowing up to 30 in the canyons. It's going to be a hot, windy forecast come Thursday on. Mountains looking beautiful for the next few days into the 70s on Friday, 76 on Saturday. Your forecast is looking A-OK, and then the high desert mid-80s on Thursday, into the 90s on Friday and Saturday. So, guys, it's going to get hot come Thursday. It's going to get windy, and with that, on the dry air, we have the fire danger come Thursday as well. So we'll keep you posted on all of that this week. Back to the desk.
All right, Jonathan, thank you for that. Yeah. California has now become the first state in the nation to set requirements for colleges investigating sexual assault reports and to clearly define when yes means yes. Eyewitness News reporter Miriam Hernandez spoke to advocates both for and against the new policy.
College students are now safer, according to advocates of a new law aimed at curbing campus rape.
I am a survivor of sexual assault.
Rachel Buckner from Occidental College says her ordeal might have been avoided if there had been what is called affirmative consent, the cornerstone of the yes means yes measure. It aims to clarify when sex is okay and when it's not. Professor Caroline Heldman lobbied for it.
If a student believes that they were violated, that they did not give affirmative consent, then the college wouldn't get involved. But no one is looking over the shoulders of students while they're having sex.
What is affirmative consent? The measure defines it as affirmative, conscious, and voluntary agreement to engage in sexual activity. Furthermore, consent must be ongoing through sexual activity and can be revoked at any time. A key point, inebriation nullifies consent, hands off any person who is out of it, too drunk to say no. Advocates believe the measure will make both partners more responsible for their actions, and if there is an allegation of assault, it will provide investigators with more information about when an alleged offender crossed the line.
And I think that what Yes Means Yes unequivocally encourages is that both parties along the way, every step along the way, are responsible for checking in with one another, for being present with one another.
The National Coalition for Men denounces the measure, calling it extreme, with, quote, vague and undefined terms of consent that can easily be abused, unquote. Professor Heldman agrees the law could be stronger. It does not require a verbal yes from both sexual partners. Body language is enough.
When people are vocalizing what they want and what they don't want, it is much clearer than basing it on nonverbal cues.
Many colleges, including Occidental, have already adopted a Yes Means Yes policy. It will be required at all campuses in January 2015. Miriam Hernandez, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Well, tonight, another big vehicle safety recall. Details coming up next.
Plus, could the man suspected of kidnapping a University of Virginia student be responsible for similar crimes? We're hearing from the family of another abducted woman.
And her giant new headline over the tiny new camera. You can take it anywhere, so we took it to the top of the Empire State Building. The official death toll linked to faulty ignition switches in General Motors cars has risen to at least 23 people. 16 others have been seriously injured. That's according to the compensation expert hired by GM. The switches can unexpectedly shut off the engine and cause crashes. GM has acknowledged that it knew about the faulty ignition switches a decade ago, but only began recalling cars in February. Claims are being accepted through December 31st. Toyota is recalling 690,000 Tacoma pickup trucks because the rear leaf springs could break, puncture the gas tank, and start a fire. The recall covers Tacoma 4x4 and pre-runner pickups from the 2005 through 2011 model years. Meantime, U.S. safety regulators are looking into allegations that older Toyota Corollas could accelerate unexpectedly at low speeds and cause crashes. The inquiry covers about 1.69 million cars from the 2006 to 2010 model years. Investigators say they found 141 consumer complaints about the problem. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration will now decide whether to open a formal investigation.
A special honor today for a senior citizen volunteer with the Highway Patrol. Howard Bosserman just celebrated his 100th birthday. He was awarded a certificate of distinction at the CHP office in Sacramento. Bosserman has donated his time there for the past 14 years and loves the work. Despite his age, he has no plans of leaving.
Breathtaking. I can't believe it. That I am entitled to this much acclaim.
The Highway Patrol has more than 800 senior volunteers. They perform administrative work and traffic control, saving the state more than $5.5 million in just the past year.
Working apparently keeps you young.
Yes.
At least for him it does. We are updating the evening's top stories next to day 30, including who may have been targeted in an Albertsons grocery train data breach.
Plus tonight, who's alleging the LAUSD knew for 25 years about a child predator in its midst?
And LA's aging water lines are getting replaced, but the months of work in one area is proving to be frustrating for drivers.
Live from ABC7, This is Eyewitness News at 8:30 p.m. on LA56.
Our top story at 8:30, credit and debit card users may be at risk in another hack. This time, Albertsons stores were targeted. I'm David Ono.
And I'm Colleen Sullivan. This is Eyewitness News at 8:30 on LA56. The company says this is the second data breach at Albertsons and Super Value in just the past few months. It says in late August or early September, malicious software was installed on networks that process sales transactions at some stores. The malware may have captured customers' names and account numbers in more than a dozen states, including California.
The top story, startling new revelations after an intruder made it inside the White House. We're now learning Omar Gonzalez, who was armed with a small knife, got further than the Secret Service first revealed. Sources tell ABC News once inside the front door, Gonzalez overpowered a Secret Service officer and then ran past a flight of stairs leading to the first family's living quarters. He was finally tackled in the East Room, which has been used for many presidential receptions and addresses. Tomorrow, the Secret Service director will face a congressional committee.
Tonight, new questions over what the Los Angeles Unified School District knew about alleged sexual misconduct involving a teacher who was later convicted on several counts of lewd acts with students. The question could be answered in court, but some not without controversy. Eyewitness News reporter Giovanna Lara has details.
As former teacher Mark Burt serves out his 25-year criminal sentence for 23 counts of lewd conduct with dozens of LAUSD students, a slew of attorneys for the plaintiffs continue to prepare for a civil trial against the district in November, with pretrial motions setting the stage for the trial.
On November 4th, this community is going to find out that for 25 years, the LAUSD knowingly harbored a child predator and created a major safety risk for kids throughout all schools in Los Angeles.
At issue today, a declaration signed by a district council clerk on September 22nd. Attorneys for the plaintiffs say they want the district to turn over the original declaration submitted by the clerk, which civil suit attorneys say confirms that back in 2008, she scanned into the district system more than 200 suspected child abuse reports, also known as SCAR reports. The declaration was supposed to have already been submitted. The district says there are errors in the declaration they need to address with the clerk, but she is on medical leave. Today, the judge ordered the district to submit the declaration by the end of the week, but attorneys for the plaintiffs want the original declaration submitted, not a potentially altered version.
I was unhappy that she gave them until Friday to turn over a declaration, because that means that they have 5 extra days to try to pound the employee into giving a false version, because the district is unhappy with the version that she signed on September 22nd.
We think they're really trying to alter the substance of her true testimony, and that's why we want to get our hands on that earlier version.
A representative for LAUSD attorneys today said they plan to meet the judge's deadline and submit the clerk's declaration by Friday.
We want to make sure that everybody has accurate information in this case, as we'd hope plaintiffs would want as well. So we're going to work hard to, comply with the court's request and get them that information by Friday.
Giovanna Lara, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
All right, we are getting breaking news in Sun Valley. We take you to Pacifica Hospital of the Valley. That's on San Fernando Road. We're getting reports that somebody brought a gunshot victim to this hospital, ran that victim inside. Apparently that person is badly hurt, possibly even shot in the head. As you can see, there's a large police presence. What's also interesting is the person who brought the victim in then tried to get away. We don't know if that person was successful in getting away or he has been taken into custody. Nevertheless, a number of patrol cars are there in the parking lot of the hospital. Several officers are investigating, and all we know is a gunshot victim was brought to that hospital. We'll try to get more information for you. A Los Angeles judge denied a request today by one of Casey Kasem's daughters to recover $160,000 in attorney fees. This stems from Julie Kasem's bid for conservatorship over the late radio legend. Her lawyer says Kasem's wife, Jean, went back on a promise to let her see her ailing father. The judge says Julie can still pursue other options, such as a breach of settlement action. Julie's sister, Carrie, was later named her father's temporary conservator. The Kasem siblings accused Jean of moving him from a Santa Monica convalescent hospital to Washington State without telling them.
Tonight, a new clue in the case of the missing University of Virginia student. As the search goes on for Hannah Graham, Virginia State Police say the suspect in Graham's disappearance could be linked to a 2009 unsolved murder with eerie similarities.
Virginia State Police say the investigation into the disappearance of 18-year-old Hannah Graham is offering new clues in an unsolved 2009 murder of another student who vanished from the University of Virginia campus. 20-year-old Morgan Harrington went missing in 2009 after attending a Metallica concert on campus. The Virginia Tech student's remains were found 3 months later in a hayfield outside Charlottesville. Today, the Virginia State Police released this statement about Morgan's murder and its possible link to the suspect in Hannah Graham's disappearance, saying Jesse Matthews' arrest last week, quote, provided a significant break in this case with a new forensic link for state police investigators to pursue. Police not giving any other information about the forensic link, but the connection is offering new hope for Morgan's parents. They want the person responsible for her death caught, but they know it won't bring their daughter back.
I am so pleased that that has happened, but it doesn't change a lot for us. Bedroom is still empty upstairs. We're still not going to have the grandchildren, the wedding, those things.
State police are examining Matthews' mugshot and trying to determine if he's the same man as this general description of the suspect back in 2009. Hannah has been missing for more than 2 weeks. The Harringtons feel for what Hannah's family must be going through.
The one thing that is important for me, though, is I know where Morgan is. However this unfolds, I know where my girl is. She's in a box in the living room. Hannah Graham's family do not know where their daughter is.
Charlottesville police have searched Matthew's car and apartment. They say they took several items of clothing from his home. Matthew has returned to Charlottesville from Texas late Friday after he was found on a beach near Galveston, Texas. He is expected to make his first court appearance on Thursday.
Sunset Boulevard is almost back to normal after 2 water main breaks in just the past few days. In West Hollywood, one westbound lane remains closed for road work and sidewalk repair near La Cienega Boulevard, but the 36-inch pipe that burst on Friday has been fixed. It was nearly 100 years old. Meanwhile, 3 miles away in Homely Hills, traffic is flowing again in both directions. A 12-inch pipe ruptured yesterday near Charing Cross Road. That pipe dates back to 1969. And these water main breaks are calling attention once again to the aging water pipes across the city. Eyewitness News reporter Sid Garcia tells us the DWP replaces many miles of pipe each year, but that a lot of people are frustrated over just how long it takes to get the projects done.
This is killing us. I don't know why it takes so long.
The Los Angeles Department of Water and Power has heard the complaints. Water pipe replacement projects taking months, sometimes a couple of years, to complete. At the Studio City intersection, lanes have been shut down for months. Even after crews are done for the day, the lane closures remain.
The last month is very, very bad. I don't know why. The traffic is a nightmare.
It's even worse for the bicycles and the pedestrians here, who we are a bike riding community here. And this is like really screwing everything or messing everything up in our community. And we don't know why it's taking so long to get it done.
The short answer, according to the LADWP, short work days mandated by city law.
We can no longer be on the street prior to 9 o'clock. We have to be off the street by 3 p.m. This allows commuters to have less impacts in the morning and the afternoon commute.
What will certainly add days, sometimes weeks, to a project, a major water main break like the one in West Hollywood over the weekend, or the one near UCLA this summer.
We also have pipeline crews that replace pipe on a regular basis, and when we need to pull additional resources together, that's where we pull them from.
Work at this North Hollywood intersection has been going on for about a year. It's impacted this camera business that Michael Perrin has owned for nearly 40 years.
Last month, my business dropped 25%. This month, it's going to be about 30-35%. And the effect hasn't even gotten to us until they start going down the street. That's going to be easy 50%. I won't be in business in the next couple of years.
LADWP is asking for patience. Crews are going as fast as the rules allow them to go. Sid Garcia, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
The next time you withdraw from an ATM, your bank may be taking out more money from your checking account. A new report shows banking fees are going up again. Over the past year, the fee for using an out-of-network ATM has climbed to a new high, averaging $4.35 each time you take out money. Overdraft fees on your checking accounts are also higher, hitting the average of nearly $33. Bankrate.com blames the 2008 financial crisis as one reason for the higher fees.
This is going to be a fun one to watch. This falls under the category of why didn't I think of that? That tiny GoPro camera you can attach to anything tonight. They're out with the newest model, and the inventor spent the day with us the same day we learned he made the Forbes 400. ABC's David Muir took in the view with him.
The corner of 5th Avenue and West 33rd Street here in New York.
Hi guys. Morning. How are you?
Where they're waiting for us with their own cameras. The inventor of the GoPro. Right there with a camera for me and a camera for him.
Okay, here we go.
We begin our walk through the Empire State Building. They're about to take us to the top. We meet Caesar, part of the security team.
Hi, I'm Eric.
You can see the small GoPro he's carrying actually on what they call an extender, a sort of man-made arm. And this is the first time he's tested out his cameras at the Empire State Building. And on our way up, we ask him about something else. On the way up, his name on the Forbes list.
So Nick, the big headline today, the Forbes list is out. What do you make of it?
Welcome and enjoy the view.
That was a good way to
He couldn't have said it any better. Welcome and enjoy the view.
Late today, Forbes putting his worth at $4.9 billion, up more than 200% from this time last year. Nick Woodman came up with the idea at just 26. He's a surfer, attaching that camera to his surfboard. But his invention also has the American family in mind. Swimming with your baby, sledding with your children, taking America to the top of the Empire State Building. We're off the elevator and to the observation deck, walking through that door, and just look.
And you gotta be kidding me.
Look at this.
Lower Manhattan. And if you look closely, right through those metal barriers, you can see it. The Freedom Tower, standing high above the rest. He sticks his GoPro out beyond the fence with that extender. Look at us, and then look at the view below. But our next stop was even higher, right up there in the shadow of the spire.
God, I gotta hang out with you more often. We get to go to the coolest spots.
Right up to the 102nd floor. We go up one last set of stairs.
This is exclusive access.
All right.
Climb the stairs more than 1,250 feet up, the 103rd floor. The door locked, but we get the key. And just look at the view tonight.
GoPros are used by filmmakers and by moms and dads at the park with their kids. We're realizing our vision, and it feels incredible.
That was ABC's David Muir reporting, but those GoPro cameras have revolutionized the way we are able to approach things that we want to shoot.
And
it's
you just
amazing.
got one recently. Did you have
a couple weeks ago. And they usually come with an underwater housing, which was great. So you can take it,
that
to the
video
beach
is
with you.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What fun. All right, well, up next, a change in the birth control recommendation for teenage girls.
Plus, new concerns about that enterovirus making children sick all over the U.S. Is it also causing paralysis in its young victims?
And the weather lately, enjoy it while it lasts. Temperatures are going way up. On top of that, fire danger in the forecast for 7 days. Stick around.
New guidelines tonight regarding teen girls and birth control. The American Academy of Pediatrics says teen girls who are sexually active should use IUDs or hormonal implants because both are long-acting, they're safe and effective methods of birth control. The most common birth control choice among teens are condoms, but with typical use, they're among the least effective ways of preventing pregnancy.
With more cases of enterovirus 68 spreading tonight, there are new concerns about a possible link to infected children suffering from muscle weakness and possible paralysis. Health specialist Denise Tador shows us the steps doctors are taking to find out more.
At Children's Hospital, Colorado, doctors report a 10th case of a child coming down with semi-paralysis of their limbs and muscle weakness a week after the onset of respiratory illness. Some patients between the ages of 1 to 18 have been affected more than others.
The spectrum is varying right now from, say, mild weakness in one limb to weakness in all 4 limbs.
This new serious symptom emerged in the midst of an ongoing outbreak of enterovirus 68. Of the handful of patients experiencing muscle weakness, 4 have been confirmed to have the virus, but officials are still investigating whether there is a true connection.
At this point, we do not know what the etiology is. We don't have a cause for what all these cases are due to.
Some of the kids affected are also suffering from trouble swallowing and breathing. Through MRI scans, doctors have spotted lesions in the brainstem and cranial nerves.
In a circumstance like that, the virus actually infects the central nervous system, the spinal cord, causes injury to some of the cells, and that's what causes the paralysis.
At this point, doctors can't say for sure if the muscle weakness will be permanent, but all of the patients are undergoing aggressive rehab therapy. 5 have been discharged. Despite this cluster of cases, doctors say parents should not panic. Local pediatrician Dr. Peter Kidder says one major thing parents can do to help prevent the spread of illness is hand washing.
That is universally the best protector against almost any infectious disease, and especially enterovirus.
And if you have a child with asthma, he says, do your best to control their symptoms and know when to seek medical care.
If you're having trouble breathing, you feel like it's hard to catch your breath, if it feels like you're having a very high fever or very achy, then those would be reasons that you might want to go to your doctor.
Denise Tador, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Another sizzling heat wave is on the way. Meteorologist Jonathan Novak has details up next.
Plus in sports, the Lakers and Clippers hold their annual media days coming up. What drives Kobe Bryant in his 19th season? Well, Jonathan, we're expecting this heat wave. I think you're just saying it. Enjoy what you have right now.
Yes, because in a few days, temperatures are going way up, winds are kicking up, fire danger is going up. So we got a couple more days of fantastic weather that over the last few days has been due to this area of low pressure that's now bringing plenty of storms to Colorado. You see that big line right there flooding in portions of eastern Colorado tonight. But for us, it's been very beautiful weather. Temperatures below average. These numbers right here, these are your highs today in Burbank, Lancaster, Ojai. It was 81 in Burbank. Ojai hit 87. Only 92 in Palm Springs. Temperatures below average for your highs today. Over the next couple of days, about the same, although we will start warming up a little bit, and then a big jump in those temperatures come Thursday. LAX 69 right now. That's your current temperature. 49 in Wrightwood. Cold in Big Bear, 50 degrees right now. Overnight lows are going to be in the 30s tonight, so bundle up. 73 Van Nuys and 70 in Santa Clarita. These are your current temperatures. It's a somewhat coolish evening. We'll zoom out, and this is that area low pressure that, again, I was just showing you on that live Mega Doppler 7000 HD. It's lifting away, making room for high pressure to build in. It's going to take a couple of days for that high to really get over California and give us those offshore winds. And when we get those, that's those Santa Ana winds. That's really warm air. So in the meantime, for Tuesday and Wednesday, temperatures are right at average or so before they really spike up come Thursday. So Tuesday and Wednesday, notice here on that future scan, that ridge of high pressure still off to the west, but by Thursday starts building in over us. On top of the warm weather, we're going to be seeing windy conditions and really dry air. Those three factors mean fire danger, folks. So we're looking at potentially what looks like pretty good chance for some red flag warnings come Thursday on. So 80 tomorrow in Los Angeles, 90 in Riverside, only 88 in San Bernardino. Really below average, really mild weather. 74 Dana Point, 70 forecast for LA Metro and Orange County, powered up by AccuWeather. 80 tomorrow, 80 on Wednesday, and then a big spike in those temperatures on Thursday. 92 into the mid to upper 90s Friday and Saturday. Fire danger again Thursday and Friday, probably going to keep that around on Saturday as well. Check it out for the valleys, i.e. very hot come Thursday. So you got 2 more days here. Temperatures right in the mid to upper 80s. But look at that, Thursday 97, and then Friday into Saturday into the triple digits. 106 Saturday, the warmest temperature, and very windy as well on Friday. Breezy and warm in the mountains, 72 by Friday, mid-70s for your weekend. Weekend's looking fantastic in the mountains, and in the high desert, getting back into the 90s finally by Friday on into the weekend. So we have warm weather, we have fire danger. We're going to keep you posted on it throughout the week. Back to you guys at the desk. That's it for me.
All right, Jonathan.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
The Lakers opened their 2014-2015 campaign today in El Segundo with their annual Media Day, and fans are hoping for a complete 180 of last season, which saw the purple and gold finish with the 6th worst record in the NBA. So, management brought in a new coach and former Lakers guard Byron Scott to help turn the tide. Having Kobe Bryant back from the injury will also help LA this season, we hope. And last year, players missed a combined 319 games because of injury, which torpedoed the Lakers' attempts at the playoffs. The Mamba returns for his 19th season with the purple and gold and is ready to get back to the postseason.
It was a really tough injury. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's a lot of things go through your mind when something like that happens, right? So, but I just went on my grind and just kind of chipped away at it day by day, and I feel pretty good as a result. Just trying to see if I can prove to myself that I can be myself, and then all the words and the doubt just kind of adds fuel to that.
But I've had a chance to sit down and talk to Kobe. I had a chance to see him work out. I had a chance to see him play 5-on-5. He's far from retiring. To be honest with you, you know what? He's a guy that's going to still probably average 23, 24 points a game. Our biggest thing is making sure that he stays healthy.
The Clippers have reshaped their roster for the upcoming season, but the biggest addition came with Steve Ballmer purchasing the team. With the new owner set in place, the Clips' outlook is much brighter than at the end of last year, and they've regained their trust in the organization.
He's committed to making the right moves to try to win a championship, and it starts with Doc, and it starts with having somebody that has that type of experience.
First time I met him, he bought me dinner, so after that I really liked him a lot. Steve's a great guy. He's really hardcore. He's really spirited. You can tell he really cares about the game, and he cares about us as players, and he only wants to make this organization move forward and take those steps to be a championship organization.
Doc talked to us this morning talking about let's not have any bad days. I think that puts a lot of responsibility on us three that we can't have that, and we learned last year, and we need to move forward.
The Clippers' first preseason game is next Tuesday, while the Lakers' exhibition schedule starts on Monday.
And more news straight ahead here at 8:30 and ahead tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7. They're supposed to save you, but they can kill you. New concern tonight about the safety of guardrails. What you need to know before you get behind the wheel. Plus, it's a movie night at Dancing with the Stars. We're going to take you backstage for the movie Magic You Won't See on TV. These stories and all the late breaking news on Southern California's #1 late newscast, Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7. Former professional tennis star Pam Shriver shared her talents today with nearly 100 inner-city kids from South LA. She hosted a tennis clinic at UCLA organized by a nonprofit group called Up to Us. They wanted to introduce young people to the sport of tennis, teach values of good sportsmanship, and raise awareness about the need for good mentors in underserved neighborhoods. Shriver is a former Olympian and now a broadcaster for ESPN.
All right. Good luck, kids. And thanks for joining us for Eyewitness News at 8:30 here on LA56. Law and Order SVU is coming up next.
And Eyewitness News continues at 11 p.m. on ABC7 tonight.